Hey, sports card fans, it's John, big Boggs fan, and this is another top 10 vintage PSA baseball card sales on eBay, this time for the month of November. Similar to what I did last month, I actually am going to have three top 10 lists, one for cards from the 1950s, one from the 1960s, and one for the 1970s. The top 10 list this month from the 1950s, as its usual cast of characters, so to speak. The 1960s, you'll see a common theme within the top 10 list. And for the 1970s, for the second month in a row, there are some surprising cards that show up in the top 10 list. So let's get right to it. All right, we're going to start off with the top 10 from the 1950s. Coming in at number 10, we have the 1952 Topps Jackie Robinson in a PSA 4. Presents fairly well, even though it is a little off-center there. The colors are nice and bright. Great image there of Jackie Robinson in the 52 Topps card. This was a best offer and sold for $14,888. Coming in at number 9, we have the 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle rookie card. PSA 4, yes, it's off-center, left to right, top to bottom. Looks like there's some staining right down the middle, but it is Mickey Mantle's rookie card. This one was an auction, 11 bids, sold for $15,102. Number 8, we have the 1954 Topps Hank Aaron rookie card in a PSA 7. I've said this before in previous top 10 videos. This is one of those listings that buyers love, and I think sellers are leaving money on the table, and you'll see an example of this later on in this top 10 list. It was an auction, 65 bidders, sold for $15,988.88. Again, as a buyer, these listings are great because you can sort of go by the PSA grade. You can tell it's pretty well centered. You will assume that the corners are such that it would grade a PSA 7. So you have a pretty good idea of the overall actual look of the card. From the seller's standpoint, you have a 54 Topps Hank Aaron rookie card in a 7, and this is the best picture you could take of the card. I think sellers leave money on the table, but as buyers, again, we love to see that. So I'll get off my soapbox here, but again, you'll see an example of what I'm talking about later on in this top 10 list. But again, this one sold for just under $16,000. Coming in at number 7, we have the 1951 Bowman Willie Mays rookie card. This one is in a PSA 5, a little bit better centered than that Mickey Mantle that was in a PSA 4. This was a buy it now for $19,888. Nice looking example of that Willie Mays rookie card. Coming in at number 6, we have a really nice example of the 1956 Topps Mickey Mantle in a PSA 8. Maybe a little off-center left to right. And I do notice that if you can tell right at the bill of his cap, there seems to be a little bit of a surface scratching, a little bit of loss of the card there a little bit, which may again have brought it down to an 8. But this was a best offer, sold for $20,000. Coming in at number 5, here's the example what I'm talking about. Another PSA 7 Hank Aaron rookie card. This is the image that the seller used. This was a best offer, and the seller accepted $21,000. $5,000 more than this one here that was up for auction. My opinion is that if that card had a picture like that card, probably would have sold for more than $16,000. Again, you never know. But this is the type of image that you want for this high-end card on a listing on eBay if you're a seller. If you're a buyer, again, you probably like those that other listing. But this one here is the best offer, sold for $21,000. Coming in at number 4 is our first 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle. One always seems to show up, at least one, in the top 10 list. This one is an authentic altered card. Looks fairly good centering. A little bit of staining you can see maybe on the top, bottom, and maybe left and right edges right there in the middle. Not sure if it's from like a rubber band or something, but this was an auction, 66 bids, $27,877.77. Recently, I saw on a Facebook group for vintage cards, someone had a really, really nice example of the 52 Topps mantle in a PSA 1.5. Almost perfectly centered. Yeah, the corners had some wear to them. Not much surface scratching, was a pretty clean copy. Wanted $40,000, and according to the listing there, someone actually offered him $40,000. Don't know if that transaction actually took place, but if it did, for 1.5 for $40,000 of a really well-centered card, this authentic altered for just under $28,000 seems right, maybe in that ballpark for this grade. On to number 3. The image is a little bit fuzzy, not too sharp, but this is a Mint 9 off-center. The off-centering is, I believe, mainly left to right, of the 1953 Topps Jackie Robinson. This is the best offer, and the seller accepted $30,000. Coming in at number 2, we have the second 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle. This is a PSA 2. It was the best offer for $32,000. Now, what I find interesting about this listing is if you can tell, you may not be able to tell, but if you look at the bottom right-hand corner of the card, the corner is actually missing. It's either cut or torn away, which surprises me that this received a PSA 2. I've had one card, a tobacco card, that had some paper loss on the back and it got a 1. This is actually missing part of the card itself and still managed to get a 2. So I'm not sure if this was maybe slightly overgraded or not, but at any rate, overall, without looking at that bottom right-hand corner, nice example, not too much surface scratching, yeah, a little bit off-center, but a nice example of the Mickey Mantle 52 Topps, best offer, $32,000. And now the number 1 sale from the 1950s for November is a really nice example of the 1957 Topps Mickey Mantle in a PSA 8.5. If anything, I notice a little bit of diamond centering on that top and bottom. It looks like it's just tilted just ever so slightly. Not sure about the corners, but they seem really nice. But overall, a great example of the 57 Topps Mickey Mantle. This was an auction, 92 bids. Final strike price was $35,100. All right, on to the top 10 from the 1960s. We're going to start off with the 1968 Topps Nolan Ryan rookie card in a PSA 8. This was an auction, 62 bids, $7,950. As I said, the 1960s are going to have a common theme, and coming in at number 9 is yet another 1968 Topps in a PSA 8, another auction, 48 bids. This one sold for $8,100. Coming in at number 8 is, yes, one more 1968 Topps Nolan Ryan rookie card in a PSA 8. This one had 45 bids, and this one sold for $8,200. Coming in at number 7 is going to be your run of some 1969 Topps here. The first one, and check out that old school PSA label. That's a really early slab right there. But this is the white letter version. PSA 7. This was a buy it now, $8,250. Coming in at number 6 is another 69 Topps. This is a Reggie Jackson rookie in a PSA 8.5. 7 bids on this auction, and it sold for $8,281.81. Coming in at number 5, another 1969 Topps. This is a PSA 9 Nolan Ryan. Gorgeous looking card. 39 bids, $12,115 for Ryan's second year card. Coming in at number 4, we have the 1966 Topps Sandy Koufax in a very, very nice looking PSA 9. This was a buy it now for $16,000. Coming in at number 3 is another 1968 Topps Nolan Ryan rookie card, but this is the Venezuela Topps. These are, 1, hard to come by, and 2, if you can find them, they're typically in terrible condition. I believe a lot of the cards, from my understanding, were like glued into albums, so on the back you typically have some paper loss. But this one overall, at least on the front, looks like a nice example and received a 4.5 grade from PSA. This was a best offer, sold for $19,000. Coming in at number 2, we have another 1968 Topps. Told you there was a little pattern here going on. This is a PSA 9 of the 68 Topps Mickey Mantle. I used to have this card, not in a 9, but in a 7. About 6-7 years ago, I sold it. Regretted it ever since. Have yet to replace it in my collection. But anyway, this was a best offer and sold for $20,000. And the number 1 card sale, the PSA card for November from the 1960s, is the 1966 rookie card of Bill Sorrell. Now, Fergie Jenkins rookie card, PSA 10. Don't know what the pop is on PSA 10s. Can't imagine they're very high. This was a buy it now. I don't know if someone is a Fergie Jenkins fan. You have a Hall of Fame rookie card. My guess, it has something to do with the PSA registry, or just someone wanting a really high-end copy of Fergie Jenkins rookie card. This one sold for $29,999.99. All right, on to the top 10 from the 1970s. Again, there's going to be some interesting cards in this top 10 list. Coming in at number 10, we have the 1975 Topps Dave Giusti. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right or if I butchered it or not, but it's a PSA 9. 122 bids on the auction, and it sold for $2,402. This definitely has to be someone going for a PSA registry, either for the 75 Topps set. Maybe it's a case where there are no 10s out there, and this is the highest graded copy. But again, this is a PSA 9 of a player that honestly I've never heard of. So it's got to be low pop, someone going for the PSA registry. $2,400 for this 1975 Topps card. Coming in at number 9. This is the first card, I think, since I've been doing these top 10 lists, that's featured an autograph card. And this happens to be Mike Schmidt's rookie card from 1973 with a PSA DNA auto graded a 10 of Schmidt. The card itself is a PSA 8. So great condition card, perfect auto. 48 bids on the auction, $2,851. Coming in at number 8, we have a PSA 10 Steve Carlton from 1972. To me, it looks just slightly off center, but probably well within that margin there that PSA has to still consider it a PSA 10. Overall, I don't know if they did the picture with their scanner or whatever, but it just has that weird color to the image, so I'm sure it shows up much better in person. This was an auction. The starting bid was $3,000. There was only one bidder, so it sold for $3,000. Coming at number 7, another surprise entry in the top 10. Another 75 tops card, PSA 9 of Jesus Alou. And by the way, this was the same seller that had the other PSA 9 from 75. So I don't know if he was breaking a set, whether he had some high-end examples of 75 tops. Don't know if it was the same buyer that bought this one and the other one, or whether they were separate winners. This was an auction again, 102 bids, $3,309.05. This has to be the highest graded copy of that card. I can't imagine that a 9 would sell for $3,300 if there was a 10 out there. But yeah, those registry collectors, there's some diehard ones that want to get high on that registry list. And if this is possibly the only 9 or very few 9s and no 10s, maybe that's why this sold for $3,300. Coming in at number 6, perfect copy of a 1976 Topps Rod Carew PSA 10, 42 bids on that auction, $3,383.33. Coming in at number 5, we have the 1979 Topps Ozzie Smith rookie card in a PSA 9. This card is notorious for being off-center. And even when you get one that's sort of centered, it typically has like a diamond centering to it. This one looks like a pretty clean, well-centered copy. 48 bids on this auction, $3,750. Coming in at number 4, we have a PSA 9, 71 Topps Steve Carlton. 71 Topps are notorious to try to find in high grades. You get a little bit of chipping on that black border, and it really shows up. Looking a little bit closer at this card, there may be a little bit of black missing along the right-hand side of the card. But other than that, looks like a really, really nice copy, worthy of a PSA 9. 50 bids on this auction, $4,150. Coming in at number 3, another 71 Topps card. This one of Raleigh Fingers, another PSA 9 copy. Great looking card, just sharp all around. This is a buy it now, $4,800. Again, unless someone's a huge Raleigh Fingers fan, this has to be one of those registry sets, either 71 Hall of Famers, the 71 set. I don't know what other PSA registry sets this card would be a part of, but my guess is someone wanted to grab that PSA 9 to rank pretty high on the PSA registry, and they paid $4,800 to do it. All right, coming in at number 2, we have the 1970, and again, Nolan Ryan. Again, the picture isn't that great. It wasn't too sharp, but a PSA 9. Looks like a little bit off-center left to right, which may be the only reason why it dropped down to a 9. Very well could have been a PSA 10. This was a best offer at $5,500. And finally, the number 1 card, eBay sale from the 1970s, is the 1975 Topps George Brett rookie card in a PSA 9. This was a best offer. Final sale price was $6,500. Now, it may be hard to see, but if you look at the bill on Brett's cap, I don't know if it's a scratch on the holder or whether it's a little white little speck that was on the card and got encapsulated, or whether it's a little print mark. For me personally, if I had this type of money and can afford a PSA 9 card, when I look at a card, there's a certain part of the card that originally draws my attention, and it's typically the face of the player. If I had this type of money and was going for a George Brett rookie card in a high-end PSA grade, I probably would have actually passed on this card. And the reason being is just, and it's me, and But every time I look at that card, I would notice that little speck or white little whatever it is, mark on the card, whatever, right near his face and his cap. And that's all I would see every time I look at that card. So while overall it is a nice looking copy, maybe, and again, it could be the angle of the image there. It doesn't look like it's a straight on photo. Looks like there's maybe a little bit of a diamond centering to it, but overall, the corners look sharp. The overall colors look great for this PSA 9. But again, if I was going after this card, I probably would have passed. But there you are, the top 10 list for November for the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. If you enjoyed this video, would appreciate you supporting my channel and hitting that like button. If you missed my previous video, you can check it out right here. And if you're currently not subscribed and you enjoy watching videos featuring vintage and modern baseball cards, you can subscribe to my channel right here, and better yet, click that bell to be notified next time I upload a video. That's all I have for you. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.